And I think perimenopause is a great uncoverer of many things, the beautiful blanket of estrogen gets drawn back and all these things are laid bare and, you're forced a little bit to take a good, hard, long look at yourself. And Sophia wisdom was there. Sophia actually means wisdom. And I've read some very interesting books and I've been searching and pressing in and listening in a little bit more to instinct and what's right for me. And it was really great to meet Sophia. It was a catalyst, no, like a
I think catalyst is a good word though, right? Like it's well, an accelerant maybe.
yeah, absolutely. Like all the things I'd been feeling and like wrestling with, it all became clear. And I'd read this book about the divine feminine, and I was like, oh, hang on. Oh, God doesn't have a sex. All this time, I grew up with, the patriarchy and God being a man. And then I was like, oh, right. But Sophia, and she got written out of the Bible because she was a woman. And it was like another name for the Holy Spirit. And all this stuff unraveled, and I struggled and wrestled with it all, and even just worldviews of where we're up to now. And then it all came woven beautifully back together in a song. And I was like, oh, great. What? Yeah, great. Okay, great.
Well, yeah, orthodoxies are really hard to not only unpick but to leave unpicked. I think because those structures that are put in place, whether it's church or something else or patriarchy for that matter, can be quite comforting. And it's easier to move back inside those structures than it is to try to make something new yourself.
Absolutely. And we love routine. We like things to stay the same as humans, and it's scary when they don't. And so to unpick something and then sort of left stranded with all the strands going, well, what do I do now? And I was also in a new state, in a trying to like help my emotional family deal with their neurospiciness as well. And like, what do I do now? And thank goodness I've got music as therapy.
But I will also say, since you've been reading some books, and I will ask you in a second what those books were, but the writing out of Sophia from various things also in my life, it's a yoga lineage for many years now, and the studies I did a few years ago on the chakra system. The chakra system, as we know it, came into the West through Carl Jung, actually, and Arthur Avalon before him. But the translations from the Sanskrit into English conveniently left out the Shakti part, and that's the divine feminine. So if you go back to the source texts, Shakti is actually in there. And I know this through a scholar called Christopher Tompkins, who went back to the source text and was like, look at this. Shakti is all through this. It's not Shiva doing everything. And yeah, so it has happened for so long.
So interesting, isn't it? So interesting. I really enjoy it's like it was the missing link for me. And like I just never saw myself in spirituality. I never saw myself in faith until I was like, oh, right, the divine feminine. Oh, right. Oh, and just swapping it over to be a woman. I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Oh my gosh. Ha, who knew?